You are now listening to the Hot Take Hotbox. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hotbox. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hotbox.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hotbox. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Capone. Ty, how are you feeling today on this somewhat dreary Friday, June 23rd?
Pretty good. We have a early start today.
Hate that.
I should say tomorrow.
Hate that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, because there's not really anything competing with them at night. You know, there's really no boxing on. Like, there's some minor boxing, but and they're in Jacksonville, so you know, I feel like the Jacksonville crowd will wake up that early. You know, they have nothing better to do with their time, so I guess maybe it is a good start time. It seems like when they went to Charlotte, was that an early start time or earlier than like 4 o'clock maybe, or no?
I believe it was early. Some of these ABC cards are always early. So there was one pretty recently. I think it was the Charlotte one. It was like a morning.
People turned out.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. I guess, you know.
The people always seem to turn out for these UFC events. It doesn't stop them, no matter what time it is. They're there and they're proud. They're freaking out. So and showing their flashlights. It doesn't really matter what's going on. They are fired up. But is this a card worthy of being fired up, Ty? Should we get right into it? Or, I mean, there is some PFL. I guess we could talk about that on the back. I don't want to bury the lead with the UFC, but there's some different MMA and stuff. Well, I might have a play on PFL, not on the books, but little off record bet. But UFC Jacksonville, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, where Tony Ferguson got his soul taken by Justin Gaethje, if I remember correctly.
Still there.
Yeah,
still there.
That is the unfortunate thing here, but Josh Emmett, Ilia Topuria, I am trying to get the odds up because I don't have them. So I'm going to count on you to say it. But 13-0 versus 18-3. Highly.
We got minus 350 for Ilia Topuria, plus 275 for Josh Emmett. I haven't really. Yeah, I think it's been around this same number-ish for the whole week. I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, this Ilia Topuria has been one of my favorite fighters since he made his debut. You know, I think he's endured a little bit of some adversity, right? I mean, Jai Herbert, he went up a weight class against Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert, you know, I don't think he's the best fighter in the world, but he hits hard. He's big, really long, and he caught him with a clean kick, man. And you know, he got sat down, but he bounced back from that, honestly. And you know, he folded him like a ton of bricks when he caught him in the second round. So, you know, I don't know if he has the best recoverability. I don't know if he has necessarily the best durability, but I think, you know, he gets to the back to his corner for the next round. I think, you know, he catches himself, and he still carries that fight ending power. Also, man, he's got some really, really good jiu-jitsu that I don't think he, really uses much. We saw what he did to Bryce Mitchell in that arm triangle. He's so strong, and he just goes for it, man. He has this relentlessness about him. You know, he has more subs and KOs, and you wouldn't know that by watching him in his UFC tenure. 5-0. I had so much money on him in the first round against Ryan Hall, and when I watched that fight back, I was like even more mad than I was before. Like, Ryan Hall should have just got disqualified, but I'm glad he got somehow knocked into another dimension. And then that Damon Jackson fight, easy work. You know, he eats shots though. Ilia Topuria does. So Josh Emmett hits hard. He's going to carry that power throughout the rest of his, you know, until he's done. But, you know, we've seen his durability start to go. You know, Yair beat him up bad, man. He's very, very easy to hit to the body. He gets hurt to the body a lot. We've seen him knocked out before. Ilia Topuria will mix it up. We'll throw to the head. We'll throw to the body. So, and I think, you know, he's probably the better wrestler, grappler, better. I think he's better everywhere, Topuria is. So, I don't know if that's a hot take at all.
He has really everything over him, pretty much. It seems, other than maybe intense power. I don't know.
I'd have to rewatch that Cater fight, but I remember thinking Cater won that live against Josh Emmett. So
yeah,
and before that, the Ige Burgos fight, they both went the distance. So you know, I don't think he's necessarily, you know, this ultimate hammer here, but he could catch Topuria. No doubt about it. I think he has a good left hook. Really, just both hands. Emmett swings. He throws a lot of looping hooks, and that's kind of what he needs. But it could happen. I favor Topuria heavy here. I see why he is what he is on the betting line. So I like him inside the distance here. I don't see how it goes 5 rounds. Let's see here.
It's minus 300 inside the distance. So it's
brutal. I don't know if there's really a betting spot unless you want to favor like a submission, but I think he might just try to take his head off.
I don't trust either one of those. Like you would be definitely taking a shot on it's plus 150, plus 125. That goes to show you they know this fight's going to get finished. Basically, they just can't price one side or the other and tell you who they really lean. It's barely submission, but
I would probably go to KO. I think he's more live to do that. He's coming off a sub. I know he has more subs, but again, going against a power puncher and somebody who hits hard and is always in a nice war. I think Ilia is going to just catch him clean and not put him straight out. Maybe not put him out like Jai Herbert, because he felt like a ton of bricks. That was one of the quickest falls I've ever seen. It looked like it was sped up, but I think he's going to get hurt bad, and maybe a couple ground and pound shots will finish it. So I'm not going to bet anything here. I don't really like anything here, but I'm going to take him by TKO. That's my official pick. But other than that, I'm going to stay away.
It's really hard to handicap this because, like you just said, you don't know. He's very even in the way he finishes these fights throughout his career. Ilia Topuria, that is not. The UFC's had a lot more highlight reel sort of KOs, and like you said, a situation where in that Jai Herbert fight, he was hurt. Like he was hurt.
Bad, man. The whole rest of that round. So.
Yeah, and he got dropped on his ass. Like it was.
I think he also got dropped in his last fight before he came to the UFC. I believe he fought in Brave CF. A fellow name was Goncalves? Steven Goncalves, yeah. He knocked him out, but, and also in his debut against Yusuf Zalal, he got a little tired in the 3rd round. So, I mean, he's not the perfect fighter, but he is, he's very young. Was he 26, 27? I think he might be, he's 26 still. Yeah. Like, crazy, man. He's younger than both of us. Like, I feel like he's 5-0 in the UFC. He's been around a couple years, but he is still getting better. He's getting smarter, has a great nickname, has a great chest tattoo, kind of like Conor McGregor. Can't take that away from Conor. And I like him. I like him heavy here, man. I hope he stays at 145. I think 155, it gets very, very, very hairy for somebody like him. So, we'll see what he can do. I think it's going to be a great fight regardless.
Josh Emmett has lost 3 times in his career. I know the last one was by submission. I don't know how he got KO'd by Jeremy Stevens, and he lost a split decision to Des Green. Shout out to Des Green. So really, it's almost impossible to handicap this. I think really you're just taking a shot in the dark, and I think maybe some sort of prop where you can get the first 2 rounds. Maybe that might be like something interesting that you might want to bet. But I think I'm with you in. I think this is probably just going to be a sort of I really don't know because I could see him kind of happening the way it did. You know what though? I have a feeling after he just got subbed by Yair Rodriguez in a situation where he was taking him down, right? Isn't that how it went down? He got guillotined or something like that, where he was just inviting the grappling.
Yeah.
He was inviting the grappling too much, and I think he's a wrestler at heart, and he's going to go back to that at some point. And you know what? I am going to take it for the fun of it. I can't let this fight go by and not have something on it. I'm going to go Topuria submission. And I can get it at plus 180 via Bet Rivers right now on this Best Fight Odds. Shout out to Best Fight Odds if you want to give us a sponsorship. We will read your whatever you want for the right price. Honestly, whatever you want, we will do it. Now I'm going to go submission plus 180.
All right.
Let's keep it moving. We got Macy Barber. Is that correct? I mean, we're going to do Macy Barber again in the co-main. Amanda Hebos. This is an interesting fight, though, not to be too much of a dick. Let's see. We got minus 210, 200 for Amanda Hebos. Macy Barber, I think properly at a plus 165, 170 underdog. Do you like anything in this fight? I never trust betting against Macy Barber or betting for her. And it kind of seems the same way with Amanda Hebos. She just seems to find a way to either not get a finish when she should or lose a split decision or get KO'd by Marina Rodriguez when it's like you feel like it's her time. So I don't really have a good read on this one.
Me either, honestly. I think Macy, but I think it should be Amanda's fight to win. I think she could, I think she has a reach advantage despite being a couple inches shorter. I just trust her more. I don't know. I don't really trust her much because, even in the fight against Vivi, when she was getting, hit a little bit, she just like, she has this look on her face, man. It's like very hard to, it's crazy. Like, I feel like I'm losing my mind when I'm watching her fight. She looks like she's so, like, her facial expression changes as soon as she gets hit. She's like, she's chilling, she's flowing, she's doing her thing. And she gets hit once and she's like, it's like that meme where you're sitting back in your chair and then you lean up. She's like focused, but she looks like very glassy, very glassy look. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, she's not happy with what's going on, but she still, she can do some things, man. I thought she, I don't know. I thought she did really well in that Araujo fight. I had Vivi,
Vivi's
but I think it was probably just a really bad bet on my end, honestly. I think she takes down Macy Barber easily. I think she, maybe doesn't have a cardio advantage. Maybe Macy can catch her late, but I'm not really banking on that to happen. I think Macy does have some good power, but she comes up short, man, a lot. She does a lot of shadow boxing in there, very Caitlin Chukagian-esque. But she does have, 7 finishes, so. But just her last couple fights, I mean, when's the last time she got a finish? It was Jillian Robertson, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago. So, split decision against Andrea Lee, and then the 2 decisions over I and Montana De La Rosa. Not impressed. I feel like she hasn't really made the strides that we thought she'd make. Remember that Maverick fight? Look how Maverick looked in her last fight. So
yeah, and we thought
I got Hebos
too, so. Right.
So I got Hebos here. I think Hebos could possibly sub her. It's probably one I'm also going to stay away from.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's a very awkward matchup, kind of, in my opinion. But it should be a good fight. I feel like it should be a little, maybe not the best quality, but definitely some action.
Yeah, I'm with you on this though. I'm staying away. I honestly lean the other way. I feel like somehow Macy Barber just finds a way to win these. Like, whenever you think like, this should be a close fight, this should be a good one, she'll get a split decision or something like that. Like, this fight is going to – I imagine if fight goes to decision is minus 190, 180. If you want to just bet that and get a clear winner, then you're good there. But I don't know. This is a simple decision for me to stay away, so I am going to do so. How about we keep it moving? Justin Tafa getting back in there after I faded his ass the last time he was fighting. I believe he fought, well, who? Parker Porter? Somebody like that, right? Oh, God, I don't have it. Yeah, Parker Porter. Shout out to Parker Porter. But
what happened?
That's who Justin Tafa. No, you're good. That's who Justin Tafa fought. He's fighting Austin Lane, who is, for me, most well known by getting absolutely obliterated by Greg Hardy on the Contender Series. So I guess I ask you, Ty, do you like anything here? I did not read the odds, unfortunately, because they have them all mixed up here, and it takes me so long to find them. We have minus 180, 175 for Justin Tafa, plus 150 for Austin Lane. Lane train, baby. I know you've been saying this guy could be a future double champ if he really put his mind to it. And I think that's the exact quote you said. Really puts his mind to it. But I ask you, we're not gonna fade Justin Tafa again, are we? Or at least I'm not. I don't know. I think you stayed away from that smartly.
Yeah. I just don't think Austin Lane's good. I can't believe he made it to the UFC, honestly.
Yeah.
Or made it back, because I think he was in the Contender Series, right? Justin Tafa should be the easy pick here, I think. And should happen, I feel like, early, right? Justin Tafa minus 125 TKO. I think that has to be the play, right? I mean, I don't think Tafa's like that great or anything, but he's got good counters. He's looked to be tough to be taken down. I don't think he's been taken down in the UFC yet. I know he has 6 fights, so. And, he was in a close fight with Carlos, but he was kind of thrown in the UFC really early. So I feel like, some of his losses, they're not great, but he's also taking care of business. He's got Parker Porter out there quick. Again, doesn't have the best wins. I mean, he's fought really, if you look at everybody he's fought, it's like the lowest of low in the heavyweight division. And I think Austin Lane is also in that conversation. So I got Justin Tafa KO or TKO. I'll put that on the book.
Hell yeah, we got Justin Tough, a TKO going off at -115, so that is not a bad bet for you, my friend.
Lane's been knocked out by a bunch of guys that honestly just aren't good. I've never heard of.
There's a lot of, island fights he was knocked out in.
Island boy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not a good look for him. I could definitely see this fight happening, though, where Austin Lane somehow has this magical wrestling ability and he takes him down immediately and just begins to start smashing him. And I'm very pissed off and confused as to what is going on. So I just want to say that ahead of time, but I would be with you. I'm just going to stay away from it.
I like it.
How about we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen? We have oh, God, I am 2 pages off. That is not good. David Onama, Gabriel Santos. 10-2, Mr. Onama. Mr. Onama, who did he fight? Adam Fugit or something like that, wasn't it? Did he get a winner? Mr.
Garrett
Armfield. That's what it was. Because I was like, oh yeah, because one of those guys, late notice, sort of step in. I was like, oh, he's not that bad. He's pretty good. And then I'm like, oh boy, and I got to see him fight again. So, what do we have here, odds wise? I am all over the place with this computer today. I am not as on fire.
My laptop is pretty.
Gabriel, yeah, it's not good. There's clouds out there, so apparently the computer just stops working. Plus 180 for David Onama, minus 225, 230 for Gabriel Santos. Do you think this is appropriate? Mr. Onama is usually the favorite in a lot of these.
Yeah, I feel like this was a kind of I don't know, like an overcorrection or like just a complete shift in odds from his last fight. Right, he was a huge favorite against Nate Landwehr, and that was a good spot to fade him. But he also almost had him out of there. It was very just a crazy fight. We saw what happened in the Mason Jones fight. Also a crazy fight. He's been kind of a tough fighter for me to really figure out. I don't think he's necessarily that good, but he gets into some wars, man. He hits hard. I watched this guy Santos fight. I think Santos should be better here. The fight with Lerone Murphy was close, but it didn't give me any expectations that he would be win multiple fights in the UFC. I think he should. He got in this big fight with Marcio Barbosa in LFA. He got knocked down early, and then he rallied at the beginning of the second round, hit him with a head kick, and that was it. So I kind of worry about him, getting caught by David Onama and relying on his survivability. I don't know if he'll be able to survive an early onslaught from David Onama. So I got David Onama inside the distance here. I think he's going to catch him early. Even if he doesn't catch him early, I think he could get caught. I could actually. I'm not going to officially take that. I think I'm going to take the under two. I'm going to take the under 2.5 at -145. I think that's a really good line. Under 1.5 plus 135 could also work. And I think Onama KO TKO. What's that? Not sure. Can't see it. Yeah, plus 450. I think that's honestly pretty good.
You're getting the under at -135.
I like that. Under 2.5?
Yeah.
Perfect. KO TKO Onama is plus 450, man. I don't know, man. He hits hard. He catches guys early. Santos has been caught early. I think that's a very live spot if you want to play kind of a decent prop at that 450 range.
I'm going to take Onama money line. I believe a lot of what you said, though, where he was the favorite in all these fights and they kind of burnt them. So they're kind of trying to, just like you said, an overcorrection. I just like every time I like David Onama's got good skills, man. Even in that Nate Landwehr fight, he had him hurt. Then he was taking a religious beating from him, and he just kept standing there, and he didn't go, he didn't quit, like he definitely could have. So I will always.
With Factory X now, I feel like his striking's it's getting better. I know it's a bit of a mess sometimes, but I feel like that should probably. He does give up takedowns easy. That's one thing that kind of throws me off. But I think the under is a good player just because I don't know. I think one of them should die. I just don't know when.
Jesus. All right. Figuratively.
Or who, I should say.
Figuratively, of course. For all the literal people out there. How about we go to Brendan Allen getting back in there after he had a pretty big win last time out against Bruno Silva. That's not who he fought, but that's who he's fighting this weekend. Brendan Allen coming off of that win against Andre Muniz, he was an underdog again. And he kind of dominated Muniz. He's a -200 favorite in this fight against Bruno Silva. Again, listen, I know Brendan Allen looked great, and he's looked good in the last 4 times he's gone out there. I still just have this little bit of untrustworthiness with him, where I don't know
Yeah.
what version of him is going to show up. He is fighting Blindado Bruno Silva. So Bruno Silva, a guy who went the distance with Alex Pereira, who got guillotined by Gerald Meerschaert, joined the club. I mean, that guy
destroyed by Gerald Meerschaert.
Yeah, that was not good. And then he comes back with a big win against Brad Tavares. I don't trust Bruno Silva either, by all means.
Yeah.
I could see this kind of being a later sub sort of situation, and barring the number, I think that's something I would take. I am leaning Brendan Allen big time here.
Yeah, I think Brendan Allen should have this covered easily, honestly. He just has to avoid that big shot. It could happen, for sure, but, he's definitely the better round winner. I mean, I know Bruno Silva has a black belt, but he does not care. You wouldn't know by watching him fight. Maybe he threw the black belt out at one point. He's been subbed 6 times. Brendan Allen's got some real good subs, man. He's really good on the ground when he gets guys down there. He might not be the best wrestler, but when he gets you on the mat, man, he's a dog. He's relentless. He is not fun to be under. I wouldn't be surprised if he got ground and pound or maybe knocked him out standing. I think he might be the better striker here, but I like plus 160 sub for Brendan Allen. I think I'm going to take that. Like you said, late when Bruno Silva throws heavy, throws hard shots, puts 100% to everything. You get him to the second, third round, I think he's liable to quit. So I like Brendan Allen here, plus 160 sub.
175 on some of these websites, so that is what we are going to get. I am taking it with you as well. I think the money line is a little too, minus 200-ish. Inside the distance, just to cover yourself on that, TKO would be plus 105, but I imagine by the time the fight goes down, it'll be minus money. So I would just take that sub and just hope for the best, because I think, like you said, he's got 6 losses in his career, and 6 of them are by submission. He's never subbed anyone, but he's lost 6 times by submission.
Yeah.
So if that makes any sense.
Meanwhile, I don't think he's ever been knocked out, but he has 20 knockouts.
Exactly.
Also
seems like an easy path for victory here.
Yeah, I agree. I think most times he will get that sub, and I just don't see how he survives. Being on the bottom of Brendan Allen. So I like it.
Neil Magny, Phil Rowe. This is I do like when they do these ABC cards, because they just kind of sneak some of these little. Not that
nice
Phil Rowe's
matchups.
crazy, but it's a nice matchup. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Neil Magny is a minus 170 favorite to Phil Rowe's plus 145. These guys are both long. They have somewhat good jiu-jitsu and grappling. Phil Rowe, I don't think as much. I've seen him compete a few times in some of these grappling tournaments, but I don't know how well he's actually done. I think
he
lost pretty much every
took
time
a biblical
he's gone out
ass
there.
beating to Gordon Ryan once.
Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much everyone in the game would at this point,
Right.
guys. But he's only got wins against Nico Price and Jason Witt, Ryan Koshki, who we both said would compete for the title and would probably be considered next to GSP at some point. That didn't happen. I agree. McNabb chest pat. That's what can you do? Neil Magny, though, a grizzled veteran, who the last time out there was getting arm triangle choked by Gilbert Burns, kind of got walked through. But, a good win against Daniel Rodriguez. He fought for his life against Shavkat. He doesn't exactly get the easiest matchups, and a while ago Michael Chiesa lost. But he's got a win against Jeff Neal, a win against Robbie Lawler, a win against Max Griffin. So I think he's rightfully the favorite here. I don't know if he finishes Phil Rowe, and I don't trust him to not or do it. That's what I'm struggling with. I like Neil Magny decision here, but I don't know if I'm going to take it. Plus 100, 115 on some websites.
Yeah. I don't know if I like anything in this. I think Rowe has fought some pretty bad competition. He was dropped twice by Gabe Green. He's pretty hittable. I think he gets. I feel like he's on a much lower level than Neil Magny. He's coming off of a win against Nico Price. Neil Magny's coming off a loss against Gilbert Burns. Like, that's a just complete difference. And when Neil Magny has fought these guys who are on like the middle-ish tier, like a D-Rod, and Max Griffin, Jeff Neal, and even then, I think Jeff Neal and D-Rod are probably on the closer to the top tier than they are to like a bottom tier. You know what I mean? Like, they're in the upper middle, if you will. And then, obviously losing to Burns, Shavkat, Chiesa, who's a tough matchup for anybody. He had a grappling matchup with Joaquim Silva, who has got nasty jiu-jitsu. So they both compete enough. They're both. I don't think either of them has really fought anybody that matches up with them size or length, height or lengthwise. Honestly, if they have like the same measurables, so that's going to be kind of interesting. I feel like Phil Rowe. I think there's just a big difference of a level here. I think honestly, I want to take a shot on Neil Magny just money line -174 on here. I feel like he should be a big favorite, but just because I don't see anything to play, I'm going to stay away. I think Magny rolls. I think that's an easy parlay piece at the very least.
Yeah.
So maybe if he starts off slow, you can live bet him. I don't know. There's not really an angle I have for this. So
I don't blame you. I don't really like a lot of things, but I am going to bet that Magny decision +115. I think that's a good enough number where I just think they're, like you said, they're gonna offset each other for a while. I think this fight's gonna be boring at some points. Mm-hmm. I don't doubt that Phil Magny could Phil Magny. There you go. That would be a crazy fighter, but Neil Magny could hurt him at some point and maybe get a sub or something like that. I could definitely see that happening. I just when I usually bet that stuff, it's kind of a boring snooze fest, and I'm hoping I am on the right side of this. So we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Randy, the rude boy, Brown, getting in there against Wellington Turman. Wellington Turman he's really hot or cold, ladies and gentlemen. It is either he is the greatest fighter of all time when he is armbarring Misha Serkinov and, beating the shit out of him, and or he goes to war with Sam Alvey, gets points taken, and somehow wins a split, or he's getting his head bounced off the canvas by Bruno Silva, getting finished by Andrew Sanchez. It's just not good, none of it. Randy Brown at least has somewhat comported himself better. He's a -220, 250 favorite in this fight. I guess I'll ask you, Ty, do you really like anything here? I mean, I want to take Randy Brown somehow here. I'm going to figure it out.
Somehow.
I don't like that number, but I have to do something, man. I can't let Wellington Turman go by and not.
Yeah, I definitely, it's tough to ever bet on Randy Brown. He does a lot of things you don't like. He puts his hands 100%. Down. He showboats. He kind of likes to prove that he's some badass, and will sometimes give up a takedown, or I don't know. It's always something. But I just feel like Wellington Turman, man, he's got a bad chin, and he's moving down. He hasn't ever moved down before, and I don't think that's something that will necessarily improve. If anything, it gets worse. Is that chin? I can't believe he's younger than both of us. I can't believe he's 26 years old. I don't know why that seems so crazy to me. 7 UFC fights, 3 and 4. He got dominated by Andre Petrosky when they fought, taken down 8 times.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, if Randy Brown shoots on him, I think he can get him down. I think Randy Brown's live for any kind of finish here, but I think he's going to hit him and really hurt him. And I think from there, it's probably over. I don't think Wellington Turman, I don't think this is a really good, if you're going to make your debut at a new division after being, knocked out a couple times, I don't know if Randy Brown's necessarily the first guy you want to see. So, I think Randy Brown should win. I know he can. He's always liable to choke and to fuck something up.
Yep.
Right? So, I wouldn't trust him with my life, that's for sure. I think this is just an easy fade, Wellington Turman fade spot here. So that's what do I got for Randy Brown? TKO, or just, I guess, inside the distance?
Yeah, inside. You want to take that?
Yeah, what is it?
+120. I say that kind of inquisitively. Yes, +120.
I kind of like the under. I'm going to play the under 2.5 at -1. No, I could see Randy Brown has played with this food before, right? So I'm going to stay away from that. I think a decision would be unlikely, but I could see it happening for sure.
Yeah.
Wellington Turman just doesn't enough to survive. So give me. I'm still going to take Randy Brown inside the distance, but I'm definitely a little bit hesitant. I think
Absolutely.
It's just a bad chin, moving down, trying to reset things in a new weight class. I don't like that line of thinking from fighters, so I'm going to lock that in.
I'll just say it doesn't feel as good as the Allen sub bet did when I was saying that earlier. So
that's for sure.
We just gotta find bets here, man. I refuse to give up. All right, how about Matusa Rebecki getting in there, a crazy Polish gentleman who's Rebecki. Who's also
Rebecki.
Who is also his nickname though?
An N that's somehow in there.
Is there? Oh, no, his nickname. Yeah.
What a nickname.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But he's fighting a I don't know how you say this name. The Tajik tank, Loik Radzhabov.
I think you nailed it.
Radzhabov.
I think you nailed it. I think it's Loik.
He fought what?
It's a crazy
he fought on the Jones Gone card. He got a decision victory over Ribovics. Who? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
The Argentine fellow.
The Argentine fellow who I was going to take a shot down the field on, and that was a big-time mistake if I actually wound up doing it because it didn't go well. Somewhat of a boring fight. What are the odds here on this one? I will tell you. That's right. I will tell you because they have moved these all around again. Plus 125 for Mr. Radzhabov. Rebecki is minus 150. I got to be honest. I really don't know much about this Lloyd guy other than his dominant victory over a guy who wasn't in the UFC either. So it's kind of tough to really tell. Mr. Rebecki with a winning over Nick Fiore, that doesn't mean much either. He had a nice Contender Series win, but I guess I don't know. I just don't know what to believe here. I want to take the underdog here, but I guess I will wait to hear what you have to say.
So it's interesting. Loic, his nickname used to be the Jaguar Paul, and now he's the Tajik Tank. So I don't know which one's scarier. I mean, they're both kind of cool nicknames. I do like the Tajik Tank. I think it rolls off the tongue better, but Jaguar Paul is kind of cool. Yeah, and Rebecki, I feel like everybody hyped him up like heavy. You know, after he made his debut in the Contender Series, he was the champion in Fenn, which isn't great, but there's been a couple guys from over there who have at least fought over there. A bunch of Polish fellas. Made his Contender Series debut, got the first round finish. He didn't finish Nick Fiore, but man, he beat the shit out of him. Yeah. Right? He 30-25'd him. He was chasing him around the octagon, literally. And, you know, I think both guys gassed in their debut, but they both won a unanimous decision. So it's kind of tough to really, you know, I think Loic got dropped, if I'm not mistaken, by Ribovic. I think didn't he faceplant? He had he was wobbled in that third round or one of those rounds. I could be mistaken, but I thought that is what happened. I just remember Rebecki dominating Nick Fiore. Dominating him, and you know, obviously he got tired, but you know, beating the shit out of someone will tire you out shortly, especially in your UFC debut. He's a little awkward, but he's a very powerful striker. So I think, you know, this is a good spot to really bounce back and get good value on him. I'm gonna take a good shot on him, straight up money line minus 150. I think he's better all around. I think he probably has the better cardio. I don't think there's really many cases in Loic wins. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of him in PFL. He's like 4-4 in the PFL. Comes over here and beats Ribovic was on, I think, short notice, and he was making his debut. And he's a guy who hasn't really fought outside the Argentinian regional scene. So, and he has success. So I like this as a good bounce back spot for Rebecki. I'm gonna take his money line.
Money line minus 150, I believe. I see if I can get you a smaller number here. Yeah, no.
Let me know who you know. Talk to your people.
My page does not give you a lower number.
Discount?
Minus 150 is the number, and
I'll take it. I think he should be like minus two something. Honestly,
I am going to take Rebecki. Close enough.
I don't know. There's no N, but that's how it's pronounced.
That's crazy. Welcome to the game, man.
Just adding letters.
I am going to go that gentleman by decision plus 180.
I like that a lot. I think he could finish him, but there's definitely some. I
don't think it's going to be easy to take this gentleman out that he's fighting.
For sure.
So
for sure, I think there's a lot of decision in his game. So yeah, I kind of like that a lot for you.
Tabitha Ritchie. Jillian Robertson. This is a fascinating matchup here, to be honest. I know that sounds stupid on the surface, but it's just, the Vegas believes, is with me as well. Minus 125 for Tabitha Ritchie, plus 105, 115 for Jillian Robertson. I mean, obviously your instinct would be to lean Tabitha Ritchie, right? Because she's the younger, more exciting fighter, but she's a lot of times just it seems like she's just overmatched size-wise in these fights.
Right.
Even though she wins, she's just it just seems like she has to overcome that the entire time. Now, I think she's going to be able to neutralize Jillian Robertson's sort of backpack game and just kind of hold you down. But Jillian Robertson is much bigger than her, not reach-wise, but just in stature. She's got 4 inches on her. So I don't know. I guess, Ty, I'll ask you what you think, and maybe I'll even just tail you, because I really don't like anything here.
Yeah, I want to just pick one
it's
side.
It's good value on Richie, I would say, if you really believe in her. And I think this is a good spot, but I don't know.
That would be Tabitha Ricci, Fabri Salto to you.
Oh, my bad.
I don't know who's stronger here. I know like Jillian's coming down, and she's probably going to look. This is probably the weight class for her. And when she's lost to girls, she's fought some bigger girls, man. I mean, Miranda Maverick's much bigger than her. Tyler Santos much bigger than her. Macy Barber much bigger than her and stronger. Myra Boyne is still the same thing. So like I just don't know. I mean, do they both have a negative striking ratio? I think they might. Tabitha Ricci, who's she beating really? Jessica Penne, Poliana Viana, Maria Oliveira. But the thing in all those fights, she's gotten 4 takedowns in all of them at least. So I think she's probably the better, the more reliable wrestler. Jillian does have some good subs, man. I think you have to watch out for her sub game. I think the best case scenario for Jillian is to get like a sweep or a reversal or kind of like not a fluke, but like catch a lucky break and get a sub. Honestly, I don't think she's the better striker, which is kind of crazy to say we've seen a lot of times in Jillian Robertson fights when her plan A isn't working, she's cooked. She has nothing else to rely on. She has no plan B. She has nothing to fall back on. She can't even, work a little bit of stand up.
No.
So for that, I think I'm gonna go with Tabitha Ricci. She's the younger fighter. I think she's the hungrier fighter. I think she might be the stronger fighter. I know she's shorter. She's kind of a very compact, and I think she might even have the better striking. Honestly, so I think she should probably get the top control, probably get the takedowns, win the minutes, and get probably the best win of her career. So I'm gonna take her money line. But it's gonna be a sweat, I think.
125.
She could get caught in a guillotine.
100%.
I don't know. Let's see if Jillian has any guillotines. She does not seem like she does. So most of her she goes to rear naked chokes a lot. That's pretty much her bread and butter. She does work some arm bars, but is she going to be in a position to get those? Maybe. But Tabitha Ricci, if she's trying to armbar Tabitha Ricci with those 61-inch reach, short arms, I don't know, man. Tabitha Ricci's just like a little, baby shark, like her nickname says. So I think she's the reliable side.
And I think Tabitha Ricci would be in the better shape later on in the fight, which just because, I think this is Robertson's second fight at 115, but it's not exactly an easy cut to make, and Robertson's not, she's I can't believe she's 28. I just went and looked at that. I was going to say that she's older, but she's really not. She's just been in the UFC for so long, dude. When was her first fight? She was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Miss Jillian
was in 2017. She was beating Emily Whitmire on the finale, but she lost during the show. She fought Hannah Cifers on the regional scene.
Oh, man. She got finished, too, didn't she?
She got
beat, yeah. Smoked.
I'm going Richie money line, man. She ain't going to lose to Jillian Robertson. I don't care what the weight class is. It's just not going to happen. I do think it's a decision, though, a stand-up sort of decision where Robertson really can't I think even though I think Robertson excels in matchups where she is easily the better grappler, and she can kind of, like you said, navigate to the back and kind of just do her thing from there. She loses to girls who can kind of hold their own, with that grappling, sort of J.J. Aldrich, Miranda Maverick, Talia Santos, some girls like that who can hold their own on the ground. She kind of gets beat up. I think that could happen on Saturday, and that's why I think it's a good line now that I think of it. I think it's a good line. Let's keep it moving. Hasbulla Zamagulov is getting in there against Joshua Van. Sorry, no, that's not him. Zagalas Zamagulov. Crazy topology picture. Crazy hair. That's some wild
Is that a bowl cut?
Oh,
is his mom cutting his hair? Or is one of his 30
One
wives?
of the greatest bowl cuts you'll ever see, man. I don't know anything about Joshua Van. Do you? The fearless Joshua Van?
I know he's probably the third youngest fighter. Shit. I think he might be, I don't know if he's older or younger than Teresa Razor or Curtis Bleda, but I know he has a bunch of knockouts. He trains with Rafael Alves. I can't get over that weak strength of schedule. I know he's the Fury FC champ, so being a champ in another organization, it definitely means something, right? Maybe you're not fighting the best, but you're fighting somebody-ish. And, being as young as he is, it's very easy to just lose when you're that young. Seems to have pretty good size for the weight class, but he looks hittable, and he looks like he's easy to take down. So I think that's a clear advantage for the guy who's much older. I know he's 1-5 in the UFC. I could see him being 3-2, 2-3, 4-1, something, right? He's just had a lot of bad luck. I think he's getting a break here. Felipe Bunez, I think that would have been a much tougher fight.
Yeah.
Joshua Van can probably be good down the line. This is just very early, man. Very, very
tough
early.
matchup to open up with, man.
Yeah, I thought he beat Charles Johnson. I thought he beat Jeff Molina, but or I thought he beat Charles Johnson. I don't know about Jeff Molina. I would have to go back and rewatch that. But I thought he beat Charles Johnson, and even that Paiva fight, man, that was pretty close. Amir Albazi, like, he's fought really good fighters, man. And I think Joshua Van, I don't know if he's going to show him something he hasn't seen before. The problem is he's always in a tough, close fight. He fights on thin margins, and what I mean by that is, he'll win the round, right? You'll think he won the round, but it'll be kind of close. Some of those punches that he threw will glance off the shoulder or the top of the head or just barely miss. He'll get taken down or swept, yeah, or something. But he does like that overhand right. He does. I think he's better, just more experienced, more seasoned, seen it all, done it all. So I like him here. I don't like anything. I don't like him at -200 though. That's a guy who's always in splits. So I'm staying away from this.
Yeah,
I don't like you said. I don't know much about Joshua Van either. So
I think the fun bet is Joshua Van. I think that would be fun if you bet him. You bet him TKO or something like that, and you just sit there and enjoy it. But I'm not going to bet this. I don't like betting shit where I don't know one guy or the other guy. It's just very. And I don't like Zomagulov at that number, no matter who he's fighting. Like you said, he just doesn't exactly fight with high IQ all the time. I can say that. He kind of invites into just sort of those tit for tat, where he loses split decisions, man. It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to bet it. How about Trevor Peek? Trevor Peek with a highlight reel knockout of the Ghost Pepper the last time out there with 1 second.
Hammer fist.
Oh my! I mean, some of the craziest strikes you'll ever see. Trevor Peek fights like it's a bar, like he's just in a bar room, and shit has gone haywire, and he is fighting for his life. He's fighting Chepe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Chepe, the machine gun, Mariscal, 13-6. He is getting in there. I don't know what the line is, but I am just enamored that this man's name is Chepe.
I think it's a pick'em.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Yes, -110 right up the middle. I couldn't really tell. I think
they don't trust Trevor Peek at all, and I don't.
Well,
blame
I
him.
can't say I do either. He's going to have his day. That's for sure. I think honestly the bet here is the under.
Yeah, whatever.
If it's good enough. Well, -1.5's -185. So maybe the fight doesn't complete one round. -105. I think Trevor Peek, man, he's really kill or be killed. Like, he's going to go forward, and who's to say this guy, Chepe Mariscal can't finish him? I think anybody is live to finish Trevor Peek, but he's also live to finish anybody. So I think that's kind of really hard to cap his fights. That's probably why it's a pick'em. If you look at Chepe, he's kind of the regional scene grinder. It seems like he has wins over Yusuf Zalal. He has a win over Pat Sabatini. He has a no contest over Carl Dean and went the distance. I don't know what happened there. He has a loss that went the distance to Bryce Mitchell. He fought that guy Frank Buenafuente, who has fought a couple people in the regional scene. Gregor Gillespie fought him. So like, he's I don't know, man. Like, he has a quick loss to Joe Anderson Brito. He got smoked by Steve Garcia. Sean Soriano made easy work of him in CFFC. So he's won 3 in a row since his last loss. I can't rate any of these guys that highly. I just don't know much about him. His cardio is unproven. Or Trevor Peek's cardio is unproven. His defensive grappling is unproven. He has power and he goes for it, but he's just not technical at all. No. And also Mariscal's coming up on short notice. I think that's going to be a huge thing against him. So I'm going to take Trevor Peek. I guess Trevor Peek in round 1, right? Or I can just take his money line because I think that's a good pick. Round 1's plus 225.
Peek inside
Trevor Peek in round 1
plus 105 or 110. I'm sorry.
Okay, plus in round 1 or 2 is plus 125. He's been in the second round a couple times, but I don't think he really wants to. So I got I got Trevor Peek inside the distance.
Chepe taking this on short notice as well. Has to be. He's kind of a late replacement.
Moving up, too.
Yeah, moving up. So it's and for a guy you're fighting who's not exactly the easiest matchup for you in the sense that he's just going to fucking bring the fight. So this is going to be a feel-it-out process. You're not going to be able to get your feet wet in this one. He's coming right after you, and he's bigger than you. So I am going to bet Trevor Peek as well. I am looking for whether TKO or inside the distance is really worth it. TKO is plus 125. And inside the distance is plus 110. I'll just take the inside the distance just in case some crazy sub goes off or something like that, plus 110. And I will be good with that. You're not taking anything?
No, I like Peek inside the distance.
Okay. Inside the distance, plus 110. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
We keep it moving. Jamal Emmers, who originally missed weight and then had to come back and made the weight. Somebody else missed weight, but they're going to keep the fight going. I don't remember who.
If I had to guess.
Was it Rajabov or what? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
It was Loic.
Loic. He missed weight earlier, and I think it's by 2 pounds. I think he's given up 20%. Don't quote me on that, but I think I read that earlier today. I know Jamal Emmers missed weight and then came back and made it. So that's some sort of information that I think you should have going into whatever you're going to bet.
Well, thank you.
No problem, man. That's what I'm here for. I try to get all the information I possibly can before I go to the window.
If somebody passes out on the scale, I definitely need somebody to tell me that.
Yeah, sometimes you don't find that out until after you place your wager. Like, yeah, do you know that dude, like, they had to restart his heart at the weigh-in yesterday? You're like, well, what? You're like, dude, I just fucking threw my check on this. What do you mean? Like, so now you want to go with as much information as you possibly can. Mr. Jenkins is a plus 175 underdog against Jamal Emmers at minus 225. Do you think this number is appropriate? I know there was a fair amount of hype behind Jack Jenkins when he took out Don Shanase in 3 rounds. No, he didn't take him out. It was just a decision victory. But I guess that's kind of where this line sort of comes from. I guess it's going to be a sort of experience, athletic advantage that's going to have to be overcome for Jack Jenkins, or am I? I guess it's a size advantage too with Jamal Emmers being 3 inches bigger and 6 inches in reach bigger. So,
yeah, I also think he is more. I know Jack Jenkins has like a rugby background, but Jamal Emmers was a D1 wrestler. So
yeah,
I think he's probably.
Jamal Emmers is explosive, man. When he's in there, like.
Yeah, I know he lost to Giga and he lost to Pat Sabatini, but, man, he hurt Pat Sabatini. He was very close with Giga Chikadze. Julian Erosa knocked him out in the Contender Series, but, I don't know if I can really hold that against him. It's not like he got knocked out by some of these, worse fighters. He beat Corey Sandhagen on the regional scene. He went to 5 rounds, went to the 5th with Thiago Moises before he got finished. Ray Trujillo fought him when he was early in his career, so, I don't know, man. He's been around a while. He's really seen a lot. I feel like Jack Jenkins is kind of like a knockoff Volk a little bit. He doesn't have the athleticism or the one great trait about him, but he's kind of solid, all around. I think the takedown defense might be his downfall. He's got good boxing. Kind of worry about his finishing ability. I thought Don Shannon, he's really, really, really low competition. That guy in the Contender Series, real low competition. It took him really late, it's the last 30 seconds to get a finish there. So that kind of worries me. I don't know if he can win a decision either. I think maybe he's going to have to catch him with something. I don't know if he's really going to do that. I like Jamal Emmers here. I think he's got him covered everywhere. He's definitely a good parlay piece for me. I think
inside the distance is plus 220.
He's plus 500. Emmers is by KO, TKO, plus 600 by submission. I want to take a small shot on that sub. I think he could definitely get that. I'm probably. What did you say inside the distance was?
220. 220. I am taking that. I just want to say that right now. That is a nice
I think
number.
I like that. He hasn't got a finish in a little bit, but I think he's probably much better on the ground. So I think I'm going to take a little shot on sub, and I'm going to take a inside the distance shot as well.
So which one's on the card?
I'm going to go inside the distance. I like that. I'm going to follow you.
I think it's a good number, man. I just think that is a nice, appropriate number to attack. And attack it, baby. And here we go. The first fight of the night, the last fight we are going to talk about.
This is the fight of the night.
This is honestly a really nice way to open this up. I hope you guys have your coffee, you're ready to go. You have a nice Saturday off. Some of us have to work, not me, but someone else here will have to. You have to work tomorrow? I don't know. Usually Saturdays are a bad day for you, Mr. Capone. But Cody Brundage, Cedric Dumas, 7-1, Mr. Dumas, dumbass. No, Dumas, that's how you say it. My cousin's names are spelled pretty much the same. They used to call him dumbass for a joke. But Cody Brundage, I think this is what did I saw is a minus 175, 180 favorite against Mr. Cedricus, who came into the UFC with a fair amount of hype, which we kind of talked about. And I think we had him in the fight against Josh Fremd. And Josh Fremd looked like Khabib Nurmagomedov in that affair. And then he was matched up with Puna Soriano, and he got Cody Brundage instead, which is not really a great draw either, in the sense that Mr. Brundage likes to grapple as well. And Mr. Dumas does not want to grapple. So what do we do here? Is this a sub or KO situation, I think. I think this is kind of somebody's going to lose here, obviously, and someone's going to get finished here. I don't know which side, though.
Yeah. This is tough, man. They're both, it seems like, just untrustworthy, you know? I think are they both coming off a loss? Yeah. That Rodolfo Vieira loss where Cody Brundage, what did he do? He shot for he went for a guillotine. He jumped guillotine against Rodolfo Vieira. Not sure that's really the smartest thing in the world, especially when you're already tired and get beat up. But you know, last second try, I guess I can't really blame him. His losses aren't the worst. I mean, they're not the best. William Knight, at least in the Contender Series, is better than some of these other guys he's fought. You know, he took care of Dolce. He took care of Tresean Gore. But man, he just, you know, he has no cardio at all. He got, you know, if you look at his wins, most of them anyway were early. Some of his last loss to Rodolfo was in the second round. And he has no cardio. And Cedric Dumas, I know he lost to Josh Fremd. He kind of got smoked, but Josh Fremd's a big boy. He's a real big boy, and I think he's going to have an opportunity here if he survives early. The problem is he going to survive early? That's the question, honestly. I think Brundage by sub or Dumas by TKO is a good pick. I just don't know what to take. I think I'm going to keep fading Dumas. I didn't like his tweets after he lost to Josh Fremd. I don't like really anything about his skill. He was like a street fighter growing up. I don't think he's UFC caliber, man. I know he has a couple subs. Those guys just really low level of opposition. I got Cody Brundage here by sub. I think this fight doesn't go the distance. It's a tough line to bet. You're not getting good numbers, but I don't think this fight ever goes the distance. I mean, you could take under a half a round. I think that might hit once in a while. So
I'm thinking about taking both sides here.
Yeah, I mean,
to make some sort of money.
What is Mr. Doom? Yeah, 275 TKO.
Play at plus 300 on FanDuel.
So, yeah, it's a very tough fight. I really wish like under 1.5 was kind of playable, but
he's got a 7-inch reach advantage on him.
Yeah, he's gonna have that long game.
I just wasn't impressed by him
smart enough.
Time when he fought Josh Fremd. Even the striking, I was like, "What is this?" Like,
he looks very, very green.
Yeah,
and with Cody Brundage, I know he's not the best fighter in the world. I know his cardio is really bad, but I don't think he's not a guy who's green. You know what I mean? I think if somebody's going to get taught a vet lesson here, it's going to be Dumas. So for that, I'm going to get Brundage. I think Brundage goes for the subs. I think he should be able to get it easily. So yeah, I think that's a good spot to play.
Yeah, so do I just take that and I'm not going to bet the Cedric TKO, even though I really want to. I'm going to bet Brundage.
Maybe live, right? You know, if this gets out of the first round or the end of the first or the end of the second looks kind of hairy and Brundage is kind of about to give up, I can see why. But live betting is just not my style.
Nope, and that's not my style either. So that is UFC Jacksonville this weekend, where you will get to see Josh Emmett, Ilia Topuria, and all the fights we just talked about. There is a PFL card tonight, though. I don't know if we really want to discuss that on the way out, but Shane Burgos getting in there. There is some bets to be had somewhere in here. Olivier Aubin Mercier, the Canadian gangster, is getting back in there against Anthony Romero, another Canadian. The genius.
David Tawada, your boy, he said he was the next. He was the German GSP. He's fighting Magomed Karamov. Clay Collard, Stevie Ray, Delano Taylor, Natan Schultz, Rochmont Manfio, My boy Solomon Renfro, good to see him getting a step up. I hope he can make some noise. I don't think the UFC was really the spot right away, but he definitely needed a step up in competition. So it would be cool to see what he does. But a lot of this is just kind of what we've seen from the PFL, right? They're making all these headlines and some signings. The Jake Paul thing, the Kayla Harrison thing, the Francis Ngannou situation, but we don't know what's going on with any of them. When is anything going to happen? They're waiting around and waiting around. I know they made some ex-UFC signings, but most of those guys are cooked. A lot of guys got suspended. They're kind of just not looking good, but this card looks like it starts in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
good luck to everyone.
Nothing else going on Friday.
Yeah, I probably will be tuned in.
They pick a good day, and there's nothing else going on. So at least, maybe some people will turn on ESPN on accident and say, oh, hey, we're tuned in.
Give me Cassius Clay Collard this weekend as well.
Oh, wow.
Always
locking that in, huh?
No, not
he's
on the
an
card.
underdog.
Not on the card.
Okay.
He's a favorite, too.
If he's an underdog, he's probably going to win that fight.
I did like Shane Burgos TKO was plus 125, 140 on here. So that I did. I will say to people, if you're listening and you get the chance, you won't hear this by the time that this goes off, but plus 150, 160, for Mr. Burgos. Other than
also
that,
some Ryzen. I know you're really hyped for Ryzen.
Oh, God.
So that fight is that fight.
If I can't bet it here in America, then I think it's fake. That's what I firmly believe now.
I like it. I agree.
I don't know one gentleman on that Rising card, by the way.
Zach Zane. You know Zach Zane? He's like 15-14. So good record. There's also some decent boxing Saturday night on DAZN. Edgar Berlanga, Jason Quigley.
Ooh, okay.
They had this face off near the what's the lady's name?
What lady?
The Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yeah, Lady Liberty, man. What you mean?
Yeah, whatever that hoe's name is.
Whoa, Jesus!
No, she's had a lot of people inside of her.
That's true.
So, but they had a weird face-off where it was quiet, and then Berlanga, he's supposed to be, he was supposed to be this Mexican superstar and kind of hasn't really taken off like that. He's supposed to really be the next guy to basically take Canelo's throne from him. In that division and, both being Mexican. I don't think that's going to happen, but if he gets a nice knockout, they're going to try to fast track him. So that's something to watch out for. But on the face-off, it was so quiet. He's like, this is my city. And then Jason Quigley said, I don't care about the city because he's from Ireland or England. And then he's like, I think he's from Dublin. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Some fucking guy from Ireland is going to get put to sleep this weekend.
He told Berlanga told him, Ireland's my city, or Dublin's my city, too. It was kind of funny and kind of a little cringy, but Jason Quigley has been knocked out before in the second round by Demetrius Andrade, so that could happen again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoy the fights this Saturday afternoon. Tonight, the PFL card. We have boxing. We have all sorts of stuff, and we will be back Monday to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. So this has been the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. We will see you next week.
Peace.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.